Yeah, what's up? We will acknowledge and we're asking if folks speak not to necessarily be stumped in, but to just talk about issues. Gina, what's your answer? Gina. Nice to meet you. So it's a nonpartisan event.
I got you.
Yeah. Retrina. You ready to go, my friend? All right. Testing. Welcome, everybody. Please find your seat. We will be taking off shortly. I am your pilot today. My name is Gino. Think of a smooth ride out of Mint Hill. Skies are clear. It is hot as hell, though. So find your seat. We are going to get started here a little bit early, folks, because a lot of you showed up early. And we got a lot of people who want to speak tonight. We want to make sure we get as many people who can speak as possible. So as you are coming in, we're going to turn it over first to my good friend Retrina Campbell, who's going to introduce you to the space tonight. So feel free to settle in, start bringing conversations to a close, and we're going to get this event started. So Retrina, will you welcome us to the space tonight?
Yes. Oops, I'm going to have to. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank y'all so much for being here. Woo! Yes. So it's 100 chairs in here, y'all. We almost have filled the room. So thank y'all so much. Yes, we can snap to that. My name is Retrina Campbell. I am the organizing manager for Common Cause. I also live in Mecklenburg, went to Johnson C. Smith, those Golden Bulls. Yes, and I've been here like 20 years. Still North Carolinian though, I'm from High Point, so I'm not that far. Live right up the street, I'm about 7 minutes from here, so my daughter goes to daycare in this area, so I definitely frequent this area and live in this area. So I just want to say, again, thank y'all so much. I want to thank Minister Virginia for having us at the New Beginnings Community Center and hosting this event. And I just want to say, too, again, thank you to y'all, because what it means is we're united and see that this is important, that we have a voice and that we need to talk about any concerns that we have that's related to our communities, how it will affect our communities. I know I have 2 girls that's here. They're in school. I'm always worried about like what's going on with school. How are the laws and the rules going to affect them? Even when we talk about voting, it's always about how that will making sure folks get to the polls, and not only get to the polls, but are educated about what it means, about what each role at the polls mean, and how that will affect you as a citizen here in Mecklenburg. So I just want to say, give yourself a round of applause again, and thank y'all so much for coming out.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. Oh, come on. Good evening. Good evening. There we go. All right. We're going to get started here. We're going to get started pretty quickly, y'all. But first, I want to acknowledge a few people who have brought us here tonight. First, we are from Common Cause, North Carolina, and we are joined by many wonderful, wonderful partners. If you are from Carolina Migrant Network, Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, Poor People's Campaign at Southern Piedmont, Red Wine and Blue, Charlotte Clergy Coalition for Justice, or Indivisible Charlotte, stand up and everyone clap for those folks, please. Look at that. Thank you all for being a part of this and making this event happen and spreading the word. We also want to acknowledge those who are elected officials not at the state level. If you are a school board member, commissioner, someone elected here in Mecklenburg County, please stand up so we can recognize you now. If you are a member of the media, please wave your hand. We want to thank you for being here as well and covering this. You can reach a lot more people. That's right. You can reach a lot more people than we can, so we're glad to have you here. If you are a member of the clergy, if you are a community leader and consider yourself a community leader here in Mecklenburg County or in Mint Hill, I want you to stand up as well. Come on, I know y'all do. That's right. That's you too, Stephanie. And finally, I want to acknowledge two members of our North Carolina General Assembly who are here to hear from you tonight. Representative Laura Budd, who's just neighboring you in Matthews, and Senator Joyce Waddell. Primarily, tonight's event is for you all to speak and for them to listen, and they'll get a chance to respond and talk a little bit about the General Assembly at the end. It's also the start of the event. This event goes for an hour and a half. We have also invited Representative Tricia Coffin to join us tonight, and we have not received a response. But the night is young, my friends, so we won't say never until it's 8 o'clock, and then we'll say never. So, to get us started, why Unite NC, why these town halls, why we're starting here? I want to start first by having you raise your hand if you want health care. All right. Raise your hand if you want your tax dollars to be reinvested in your community. That's right. Raise your hand if you want clean air to breathe and safe water to drink. That's right. Raise your hand if you want self-determination over your body. Yes. Raise your hand if you want excellent public schools for your children. That's right. And raise your hand if you want a genuine voice in your government and those who represent you. That's right. That's why we're here. Because the agenda of the General Assembly this year has been everything the opposite of what you just raised your hands for. We know, for example, and you're going to learn it tonight from the other organizations that are here and the materials that are outside for you, that there are multiple bills making changes to our elections to make it harder to vote. Bills like 747 and 749. We know that there is 4 bills that go after LGBTQ plus children in this state and our queer and trans neighbors for their healthcare decisions all across this state. We know that there's bills like HB 10 that want to terrorize our immigrant neighbors, that there are bills like SB 41 that made it easier to get access to pistols in this state. We know that there are bills like SB 20 that banned abortion after 12 weeks. And even more than that, we know that there are bills right now that will transfer hundreds of millions of dollars from our public schools, who don't even get the funding that they receive and they need right now, to private schools and charter schools all across this state. Right? And we know that at a time when families are struggling, that communities need support, and that the last person who needs a tax cut is a rich North Carolinian. That the General Assembly is taking a little vacation right now. The leaders of the General Assembly, I should say. Some politicians in the General Assembly are taking a vacation. And they are proposing, on our state Senate side, a tax cut that could deprive us of $7.6 billion annually. You'll see in one of the materials out there, the amount we would need to end hunger in North Carolina in a year is $775 million. And the tax cut that they are proposing that would primarily benefit the richest 20% of North Carolinians will deprive us of $7.6 billion annually. So we may not say it, we may not see it every day, but we are in a crisis. How many of you have been in North Carolina in the last 10 years, 15 years? Right. And know how the state changed after 2010, right? It is as bad as it may have ever been here in North Carolina, right? At least in the last 15 years. And it's a crisis moment. And so we are here tonight. We are here to unite North Carolina. I know it sounds corny, but we're starting in Mint Hill, and we're going to places like Carthage, and Gibsonville, and High Point, Scotland Neck, Wilmington, over the course of the next 2 months. Because we believe, and I hope you believe too, that it is the people in this room who, like time and time before, have stood up, have taken notice of what happened in this state, united together, and fought back. Am I right? Yes. I want to hear like you believe it. Is it time for us to unite and fight back? That's right. So we're here tonight primarily to listen to you. So, not all of you signed up to speak. I know that. But I'm going to highly encourage you to speak, because the way this event's going to go tonight, after me, we're going to invite some of our partners here to just tell you a little bit about them and the issues they're fighting on. They're each going to get about 2 minutes to speak. After that, those of you who signed up to speak tonight are also going to get 2 minutes to come up here and speak, because it's a town hall. And you're going to get a chance to address your neighbors here and address your representatives. We are also recording this, because there are some representatives who have gone fishing. And we want them to be able to hear what you said too. And so the only question in your mind, some people are asking me, what should I talk about when I come up to speak? Think about what you want your representatives to hear. And that is what you should speak about. And you will get 2 minutes to do so tonight in this town hall. Now, I want to do one last quick thing. Please note that we are, of course, nonpartisan organizations, but we want you to feel free to speak your mind, though we encourage you to keep focus on the issues. That we are here to be respectful with one another, but that doesn't preclude the righteous anger that I know many of you feel and that will resonate in this room. But just want to say that from the beginning. Now, I want to point this out before we close. You all see the papers that are on your seats. All right, I want you to hold up the blue one really quick. This is how I make sure everyone's got the right things. The blue one. Before you leave tonight, this is an important thing. There's a question on the back for you. It says, when you think about the future of North Carolina, what do you want to see? And we'd really, really like you to fill that out. Because we're going to be combining your response here tonight with the responses of North Carolinians at all 20 stops we go to. And so we want to really visualize what it means to unite North Carolina. The second, if you've got a red and blue one, hold that up. Ann Webb's got it here in the front. That is for you. That is your little pledge card to take home. I'm sure all of you are going to vote next year, but this is just a little reminder for you to put on your fridge. And this year, that's right, because Charlotte's voting this year, even though we're in Mint Hill. Now, there's a white one that looks the same. Hold that up. That is, you signed in and you RSVP'd, but if you want to fill out that pledge card because it helps you to write the thing and remember to do it, we're going to have a box for you to take that home. Final thing, there's a white index card. Hold that one up. Beautiful. I promise we're almost done. If you have any questions during this event, if it's not a testimony you want to share, but you just have a question you want answered by one of our organizations or one of the representatives, use that to write your question. Feel free to put your name or to do it anonymously. And there's a little gray basket that we're going to find, and that's where you're going to put your question. We're going to come around during the event, and we will try to answer as many questions as we can tonight. Sound good, everybody? Are we ready to go? Yeah. All right. So we're going to get started with the organizations who are here tonight, who will speak very briefly in succession. And just because she is right in front of me, we're going to start with Stefania Arteaga from Carolina Migrant Network, who's going to speak first. Give her a good welcome. We're a warm welcome.
All right. Hey, y'all. Well, thank you for having me tonight as your first speaker. No problem. My name is no issue here. My name is Stefania Arteaga. Many of you have known me throughout our community as someone who has openly fought a lot of the issues we've seen around immigrant rights in our state. And I'm really happy to be here with so many amazing partners to really talk about what is happening with our democracy. I'm here today with our organization called the Carolina Migrant Network. Some of y'all may have known us as Comunidad Colectiva. We have now changed our name, and we're a legal and organizing nonprofit focused on immigrant rights. And you're like, immigrant rights, right? Like, how does this tie into democracy? Immigrants need repro health, right? Access to reproductive care. Immigrants vote. Immigrants have children in our school system. As Jennifer De La Jara would tell you anytime she spoke, 30% of our students are Latino in CMS, right? All these issues not only impact us right now, they will impact our children. And I'm just really happy that we have representatives who are not fishing, potentially, who are here with us tonight and who want to hear from y'all. So with that, I think I have to call on the next person. Really excited to hear from y'all. And I'm going to pass it to Kim from PPSAP.
Come on, Kim.
All right, y'all, I'm a little newer at this, so I have a paper to read off of. At Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, our mission is to provide reproductive and sexual health care for all. And this is vital to our community's well-being, and that includes abortion care and gender-affirming hormone therapy. Our fight for abortion access in North Carolina did not begin when the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe. The current leadership in the North Carolina General Assembly has been chipping away at our abortion access and restricting bodily autonomy for over a decade. So when the Supreme Court gave them even more power over to make decisions about our bodies, we knew that they would introduce an abortion ban this legislative session. And they did just that with their monster abortion ban that's so much more than a 12-week ban. It's important to note that this sweeping abortion ban was introduced immediately following the North Carolina Supreme Court's decision to upend their own precedent when they decided to retry cases on voting rights, allowing for gerrymandered voting maps, and a voter ID law previously deemed racially biased by the courts. After the NC Supreme Court announced these decisions, the very next legislative day, an abortion ban was introduced. This is not a coincidence. Anti-abortion and anti-LGBTQ legislators know that the policies are deeply unpopular in North Carolina. They depend on the disenfranchisement of voters to push their extreme agendas on the will of the people, and voting rights are intrinsically linked to abortion rights. So here we are tonight in Mint Hills, standing alongside Common Cause to unite the people of North Carolina with the ask that politicians at all levels answer to the will of North Carolinians. North Carolinians want access to abortion, we want access to gender-affirming health care, and more than anything, it's what we deserve. If you feel the same way, please check out our table. It's out in the hallway. You'll see all the buttons and stickers. Grab some resources. Join us as we fight back against these dangerous bills threatening the well-being of our communities. Thank you.
And feel free, y'all, if you hear something you agree with, feel free to snap, feel free to clap. I hear lots of mm-hms, which is great. Before we get to the next person, I just want to briefly recognize a few more of your local electeds and officials here who are tonight, including County Commissioner at Large Arthur Griffin. Please stand up, sir, if you are here. There you are. There we go. I want to acknowledge that your Board of Elections Director, Michael Dickerson, is here. He stepped out, but if you've got questions tonight that are specifically about your elections, we're glad he's here to help answer them. Finally, I saw former Mayor Charlotte Jennifer Roberts come in. Want to acknowledge. There you are, right from Amazing. Wonderful. We are going to keep things moving. I want to invite the representative from Red, Wine, and Blue to come up very briefly. Thank you, Janice.
Thank you. How many people have heard of Red, Wine, and Blue? Okay, a few of you all. So my name is Janice Robinson. I'm the North Carolina Director for Red, Wine, and Blue, and that's wine like you're drinking a glass of wine, not whining like you're complaining. So I want to tell you a little bit about Red, Wine, and Blue for those who don't know who we are. Red, Wine, and Blue, we are a 501c3, C4, and we have a PAC. But we're a nonpartisan, women-led organization focused on engaging, inspiring, and amplifying the voices of the diversity of suburban women across the country in the political arena. We have over 500,000 Democratic, Republican, and unaffiliated women in our network across the United States, and over 20,000 here in North Carolina. We educate women in our network that they do have political power. Then we train them how to use their political power to elect common sense candidates who share their values and who will protect their rights. We then train them how to hold these candidates accountable once they are elected. We use digital media to fight disinformation and misinformation and can be found on all the social media platforms. We train our women how to use friend-to-friend organizing to get their friends, family, and associates to the polls so that they can have an even greater impact. We have staff in 5 states, including North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Virginia. Now, I have my team members from here in Mecklenburg County to stand up. They're over there filming me. Thank you, guys. Real quickly, some of the issues that we fight against include abortion bans, anti-CRT and bills against Black history, discrimination against the LGBTQ community, anti-gun safety bills, and efforts to destroy or weaken our public schools. The women in our network are fierce and determined. Collectively, we call ourselves troublemakers because we believe in getting shit done. Excuse me for those who are in the church. You can learn more about us at our table or go to redwine.blue. That's redwine.blue to learn more about us and to join our network. Thank you for inviting us.
All right, y'all, we'll keep it moving, keep it moving. If you are thinking of speaking, keep those gears turning because we're going to be getting to you very soon. But next, I want to invite a representative from Charlotte Clergy Coalition for Justice. Are you, Aisha or Reverend Glency, are you here tonight? All right, we will keep it moving then. Let me invite up next a representative from Indivisible Charlotte. Come on up. That's right. Come on up.
Hello, I'm Carolyn Eberly, founder and director of Indivisible Charlotte. And this is Ava Williamson, and she is our deputy director. We're so excited to be here today. And if you don't know about Indivisible Charlotte, let me just tell you a little bit about our group. We are all about engaging people in this process of civic activism. We are the Charlotte area hub for civic activism. And we really believe that democracy is not a spectator sport. We know that when people are engaged and involved, that it ends up that every voice is being heard and we can build a future that promotes equity and justice. And we know that in the process we are going to be strengthening democracy. So we have about 1,500 members here within the Charlotte region, but we have members across the state and we actually have members across the country. So we have coalitions all over.
Hey, Kim, I have paper too, so don't feel too bad. We're endorsing the Common Cause in this Unite NC Town Hall because we believe that a General Assembly that reflects us will better serve us, and that starts with you all here. Our focus is on action and creating opportunities for people to get engaged and stay engaged in their community. A stronger community means that we can fight to keep us all safe in our state legislature working for us, and working towards a state budget that reflects all of our North Carolina values. To give you an idea of what we've done recently and what we have coming up, in March we hosted the Raleigh Horror Legislature Show with Invisible Guilford. We had 3 state lawmakers. 3 state lawmakers gave constituents rundown of bills that were coming down, how they would affect us, and the best action and how to get state legislature attention and make change. In May, we joined advocates from across the state at a lobby day in Raleigh to make our voices heard and demand that lawmakers represent all North Carolinians in their state budget, demanding access to abortion, investing in public education, protecting our voting rights, clean air, clean water, fair maps, and expanded Medicaid, and more.
And in June, we partnered with Red Wine and Blue, and we were here right in Tricia Cotham's district talking to angry voters because we know that those people want to get involved, and we're letting them know this isn't right, and you need to get involved, and this is how you can get involved. And in terms of upcoming events, we have an event coming up. We're partnering with the Poor People's Campaign on Monday the 24th. They are having a Charlotte Moral Monday rally right here in the Government Center. So please join us there for that. Also,
We'll be at the Charlotte Pride event on August 20th. We're hosting a truck and we'll be registering voters at this joy-filled event. And on August 30th, we're partnering with All in the Line for a critical update on the redistricting process, on the maps, where we're at, and what we can do the next time we have an opportunity to get fair maps.
so if you want to find out more, we do have a table out there of how to join, how to get involved. If you donate to Indivisible Charlotte tonight, you can have your very own t-shirt. Thank you.
That's right. Y'all didn't know you were getting a lesson tonight. You're not only going to be here to speak and to listen and to learn, but you're also going to be leaving, joining 5 new organizations, right? So you'll never have a social life again. Your social life will be political activism, which is what we want. You are going to hear from our friends here at Portable's campaign here at the end to close us out and give us a call to action. But in the meantime, I think our last organizational spokespeople who are speaking tonight before we hear from you is our friends from the NC Justice Center, who I think are going to tell us about one of the good things the legislature did this year.
Hey everybody, I'm Rebecca Cerise. I'm the Health Policy Advocate for the North Carolina Justice Center. We are a not-for-profit dedicated to eliminating poverty by looking at the root causes of poverty and sort of advocating in those areas. So healthcare, education, immigrants' rights, workers' rights. And yes, the power of the people. This year, the legislature, after 10 years, actually passed Medicaid expansion. And that is because people like the folks in this room and people across the state banded together and kept fighting and kept at it and kept fighting and kept at it until we finally wore them down. So people working together, working united, can actually create change. Unfortunately, we are now at an impasse where, because of the delays in the budget, by the way, we need a budget that reflects the needs of the people and not tax cuts for people that don't need them, but also because of the delay in the budget, Medicaid expansion is still not being enacted. What does that mean? I know that people are continuing to suffer, continuing to die unnecessarily, continuing to face medical debt. It's a disgrace. And obviously, up the road, we want a Medicare for all universal single payer system, because that's the only thing that's going to actually lead to all of us getting health care. Medicaid expansion is essentially important. So we need to be pushing really hard about decoupling the budget and Medicaid expansion right now. So come talk to me after if you want to know how to get involved. We're going to be doing letters to the editor. We're going to be doing calls, a whole lot of things around that. Also, Medicaid is going through, people who are eligible for Medicaid are going through a redetermination process. Right now, they're losing it. For 3 years during the COVID public health emergency, they were able to stay on Medicaid. So if you know anyone or you yourself are going through that process, please come talk to me afterwards. And we have a lot of handouts with a lot of information about how you can get through the redetermination process, about taking family planning Medicaid, even if it doesn't feel like that's what you should be taking, because that will help you get into expansion, and frequently asked questions about Medicaid expansion. Also, we're looking to know what you all want us to advocate for. So we have a little survey that I would love for you to all fill out to say, what kind of health care things would you like us to focus on next? Thanks so much.
Thank you. All right, how are we feeling? Good. All right, so we've heard from many of the wonderful organizations that brought us here tonight. Now it's time to hear from you. We've got a list of folks who have signed up to speak tonight. A reminder that we are giving folks each 2 minutes to speak, and I'm going to lower this because Ann has told me I'm too tall, and not everybody is this tall, and so we'll make it a little easier on folks. But we'll call you up to speak. You'll have 2 minutes, and like I said again, part of what we're asking for here is for you to talk about the issues that matter to you, the personal experiences that you've had as you are comfortable doing so. It's not only just for the people in this room, but like I said, we are recording this and we are sharing this, and we want the rest of North Carolina to hear from you too. As we go to different stops around the state, we hope to share what folks in Mint Hill said and Carthage said, so that people can be reminded, even if you are as far away as Elizabeth City, right, Saylor, that you've got folks who feel the same as you in Mint Hill. Because on a lot of these issues, North Carolinians are more united than they are divided. On most of these issues, they are overwhelmingly popular. And it is an anti-democratic legislature that prevents them from becoming reality. So, to get us a little warmed up a little bit more before you speak, because I know it can be nervous to speak in front of a bunch of people, I want you to turn to your right. I want you to turn to your left. If there's somebody you don't know here, I want you to take a minute now and introduce yourself. Just like church. I want you to introduce yourself to someone you don't know. See, now you all really like each other. Now you just want to keep talking to each other. There we go. All righty. 2 more reminders before we invite the first speaker up. If you change your mind and you do want to speak tonight, you can do so at any time. We'll have a moment at the end where we'll ask people to, once we've exhausted those who originally signed up to speak, we'll have a chance for you to raise your hand if you decided you do want to speak. So please note that. You also have your index card if you've got questions. We'll be coming around. Again, this is a nonpartisan space. We ask that you focus on issues and personal experience, but also if you are a candidate here tonight, this is not the place to stump for your campaign, but you can talk about the issues that matter to you. And we very much ask that you do focus on yourself and not necessarily an organization or something that you want to promote. So, with that being said, when you get up here, Ann Webb, and you want to step really quick, we'll give you the time. We just make sure to hold to that because we want everyone to... I made them this morning on Microsoft Word. It's great. And folks, we will also, I know we got some folks who came here from outside Mecklenburg. We want to prioritize those who live here in this community. So we will be doing that first and prioritizing those folks first. So I'd like to invite Margie Storch to come up first. All right, look at that. And you got 2 minutes.
First of all, thank you all for being here. I don't know about you, but I want to live in a democracy, and fascism is rising. We need to call it out. We want an open, inclusive, transparent government. We want truth, not misinformation. We want access to health care, including reproductive care and gender-affirming care. We need gun safety laws to reduce gun violence, fair voting, fair districts, action to transition to a clean, sustainable economy and environment. We're facing climate chaos here, and we have a limited amount of time to make changes. So the one thing I want to ask of our representatives is to educate the people about what's going on. I know a lot of you try and do that, but we have to call out very clearly to the voters what's going on with some of our elected officials, the ones in power. And I'm really hoping we get a budget passed because, you know, we need them. Medicaid implemented. I know lots of people worked hard for that, and my brother-in-law, Jeff Moore, died because he didn't have access to health care. He didn't qualify for Medicaid. He didn't make enough money to qualify for the ACA, so we need improved Medicare for all and fight for it. So everybody vote, get your family and friends to vote, and hold your elected officials accountable. Thank you.
And this is totally my bad, Margie. One thing I forgot to say. When you do come up, please make sure say your name and your hometown so we know a little bit about you. Next up, I have Reverend Corinne Mack.
Just really quickly, for me it's so important that we have empathy. We have people in position of power, influencers who have no empathy. For me, love is the foundation of all things. Even when we disagree, love should be in the room. When we talk about love, we have to look at all of the intersectional harm being done here in the state of North Carolina. They've been talked about already. But there's an intentional move, and it's insidious, and it's racist. It's racist. Let's call it out for what it is. It's not simply by mistake, but black, brown, and indigenous people are being harmed every day, and it's intentional. We must be intentional to move in love, to commit to the fight, not just come and say, maybe, I'm mad at you, so I'm not going to do it anymore, but be intentional. It's about the people. Anytime we have people in office who put profit over people, they've got to go. It has to be about the people. God bless you.
As you can see, I need more arms as I go through these. I also just realized I wanted to make sure I acknowledge, because he came back in the room, Mr. Michael Dickerson from the Mecklenburg County Board of Elections. You were very special tonight, sir, because you got 2 rounds of applause. You just missed the first one. But special appreciation for him coming out. It is difficult to be in elections in North Carolina in this country right now. So we need to stand by, defend our election officials, and if there are questions you have about elections, we're very glad Mr. Dickerson's here so we can help answer them at the end. But next, I'm going to invite up Brian Kasher.
Oh, yeah.
Come on up, sir.
Brian. Hey, Brian.
Hi, everybody. I came out tonight, honestly, I thought I was going to be hearing our representatives speak, and I'm really pleased to see that it's actually the opposite, right? That they're listening to us. And the first thing I want to say to y'all, and I mean this sincerely, is I can't tell you how much it means to me in my heart what you put up with, what you do, okay? The position that you all have been put in this state is horrible. It's got to be awful, but I know that your hearts are huge. I know it. You couldn't get out of bed if it wasn't true. Every one of you, I mean it too, okay? But what I would like to see in North Carolina is a state that values education, right? A state that decides, you know what? Our children are going to be competing in the global marketplace. All right? Right here at home. We're competing with folks in Taiwan and China and everywhere. But are we getting those children ready to win, or are we getting those children ready for something else? That's what we got to think about when we think who's running our legislature. It's so important. And it's more than money. It's money. It's culture, right? It's knowing, you know, one of the things Moral Mondays is doing Monday is morality. Everybody out in the public thinks morality is a right-wing thing, that the right owns it. But the truth is, the right doesn't even know what morality is, all right? So, I gotta calm down. My name's Brian Kasher. I have 2 straight A honor roll children. Okay, CMS has not treated anyone better than me, and I don't know that that's right. I think everybody should have the same access to education, okay? Every single child in every corner of this county. I'm Brian Kasher. I'm not stumping, but I am a candidate for school board. Have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Kasher. We are going to keep things moving. Linda Meeks, I know you put a question mark by speaking, but you look like you're ready to speak now, so come on up, my friend.
Move this way down. Hi, my name is Linda Meggs. I live in Charlotte, and I appreciate this opportunity to hear all the different ways I can get involved and stay involved. And when I'm talking to somebody and asking them a question, I usually like to look them in the face and do that. But I can't do that tonight, because my question is for Representative Tricia Cotham. So I'm going to talk to this empty chair here. So, Representative Cotham, since you campaigned claiming to promote Democratic Party values such as women's rights to reproductive freedom and LGBTQ rights, how do you justify to the people who voted for you a reversal of that just a few months later? As a woman and a person who cares about all people, and I want them to feel safe and welcome, I want to know.
I don't know.
Next up, I've got Beth Wells. I know you put a question mark behind speaking tonight, but you're good to go? All right, all right. And Sue, I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, we would love to hear from you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll let you do
You want
Shanoy.
to say my last
I have Nuzalillo as my last name, so I understand the pain. I'll let you say it.
Okay, well, I am Sue Duchenois, very Français. And then I did the DNA test, and I don't have a bit of French in me. I'm all Scottish, Irish, that kind of stuff. So I just turned 73. And for those who are like me who were born a long time ago, especially you women, I can't believe we're doing this all over again. Here we are again. Okay, this is personal. This isn't just political for me. I'm a woman, number one. I am a lesbian, number two. And I am a student of history and political science. All right? So now we live in a world, or we live in a state, where I've lost my bodily autonomy, although frankly it never, wasn't an issue with me, and certainly it's not my age. They're coming after us again, gay and lesbian, particularly the kids that have gender dysphoria. Okay? I don't care anymore. You come after me, I'm going to beat you to death, okay? But the kids that have gender dysphoria are not getting the help that they need, and that's criminal. Okay, criminal. And finally, history. I was a history teacher when I got out of college. How are you going to have teachers who are going to come to states and teach lies? It's inexcusable. And we're falling right into the same trap that other states are already progressing way down the road. And we got to stop it. My only privilege is that I am white, okay? And I'm well educated, thank you. But, think of all the other people that have all the things that are being, it's like people have, if you're a person of color, you've got a target on your back. And that is inexcusable. It's always been somewhat true. It's just as bad as it was the first time we're fighting it, and it's got to stop. Yeah.
Y'all are great. Y'all are so good. Now, I know we got a few folks who came, and I love y'all for coming from outside Mecklenburg who want to speak. But before that, I want to encourage now, especially if you live here in Mint Hill or Matthews, and you are interested in speaking, I'd like you to raise your hand right now. Come on up, my friend. And I'll ask the question again after her, and so if that's you, I'd love to hear from you.
Another short one.
No, sorry. Good to go?
You can't help it that you're tall.
There we go. Beautiful.
I'm Vivian Brenner. I live in Matthews. I've lived in Matthews for over 20 years. I volunteer now as a retired person at Planned Parenthood. And I help escort people into the building because we have people outside the property who shout really horrible things at the patients going in.
All right, good. Go.
So sorry. Mother, why are you going to murder your baby today? Even though she's probably just there for a health checkup. They don't really care. It's a very ugly situation, and we use umbrellas to shield them, and we talk to them. A couple of the people who can sing to the people going in. Some of them are people who are going through gender affirming change, and some of them are there for who knows what reason. It's nobody's business but theirs. Right. So we're protecting them from these people who have no interest in them as human beings. They're only interested in what's going on inside their bodies. And I just wanted to say that 12-week ban is really having a bad effect on all these women who are driving from Mississippi, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and other states where they have no options at all. And they show up here in Charlotte and they're exhausted and they're upset. It's never an easy thing to go through. So I just want you to know that's going on our doorsteps.
Thank you, Vivian. And I just want to remind y'all as well that what you're doing here is powerful, because it is not only something that we hope to share your testimony with your lawmakers and with legislative leaders, but it's something we want to share with other North Carolinians, because I know that the movement that we're going to build to shift power in the state is not just the people in this room. It's going to be thousands of North Carolinians. And when folks see you speak, it moves them to action. And you know that to be true. So I appreciate you saying it. We have time for a couple more speakers. So if you are moved to speak, and you live in this area, yeah, come on up, my friend. And then we'll close out with two more after you.
Testing 1 2 1 2. Okay, hi everyone. So I didn't come prepared. I'm usually really good at public speaking, but I was just really moved looking at all of you and everyone here being so inclusive, different races, different ethnicities, and things like that. I just kind of got up here to talk about a couple things I have a problem with North Carolina, and my name is Jennifer, by the way, Richardson. I'm originally from. Thank you, my girl. Thank you. I love her. I am from Louisiana, but I came to North Carolina. I think the last time I checked, when I was looking up the stats, we were like 48 in education. I think that's a huge problem. Then after that, they decided they wanted to cut funding when we're already 48 in education. When it comes to, pro-lifers, how I feel is like everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but my issue is when you take your own opinion, your personal beliefs, and you decide you're going to mandate it into law for everyone to follow. Nobody's personal opinion, your religious beliefs should not have anything to do with anyone's body. So, what else do I have a problem with in North Carolina besides everything? That's about it. I'm really excited to join some organizations and just meet everyone, and I'm happy to be here in front of me. I love you guys.
Come on up.
Thank you. On July 3rd, I delivered a speech that talked about the funeral of the empire. I'm not going to read the entire speech, but I want to read an excerpt because the question was, what do we want to see in North Carolina? I am hoping that I can someday make this declaration. I declare that we must rejoice. We broke the chains. We are free to have full autonomy over our bodies. Our children are no longer dying due to gun violence. Love is love, and the beauty of blackness is no longer put into question. There are no borders because the whole world is ruled by complete and full abundance. We lean into a new day of understanding, a day that is the end of long suffering. Our day of salvation has arrived. Ashe and hallelujah. That is my declaration for what I would like to see North Carolina become. Thank you. I'm Shemaya Haynes.
So, yeah, come on up, my friend. And after that, I know we've got Jackson Faw and Mary Dodd who want to speak. We may ask y'all to be a little bit quick, just because we want to hear from Senator Waddell, Representative Budd, but you can't come on up.
Hi. Okay, so I'm real short. Gonna have to bring that all the way down here. This isn't quite what I normally talk about, so I'm gonna get to what I normally talk about in a second. But since we're talking about healthcare, I was raised by a single parent that was on disability, so I got Medicaid for years. And then I turned 19, and I was told that I aged out of the child part of Medicaid. So I have Crohn's disease, and I was on a treatment plan where I received an IV treatment, an infusion every 8 weeks, and I was just left with no health care for 2 years. So I spoke to my caseworker when I was 19, and I said, what can I do? I am a college student. I am chronically ill. I am trying to continue going to school. I can work full time if I have my treatment. If I don't have my treatment, I can't really do anything, right? So my caseworker tells me to get pregnant. Yes. So, obviously, I'm like, what is this? What can I do? I'm a kid, right? Why would I want to have a kid? So they told me I could apply for disability. For those of you that have never gone through that process, they deny almost everyone in the first try. Then there's an appeal process where they can still turn you down, and then you can hire an attorney to fight for yourself, your rights, and that's wrong. Medical care should be accessible for everyone. Everyone. So while I still have a second to bring some other things to light, I am now going through the process of applying for disability. So I am on Medicaid currently. I get Remicade every 6 weeks. It's an IV infusion, living my best life. I am president of an activism club on the campus of the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Thank you so much. We are the Student Perks. We empower students to talk about issues they care about, like this one. I have gone to DC and Raleigh to talk with our legislators in the last year, and it has been wonderful. Some other issues we talk about are textbook affordability, because textbooks are very expensive. Break Free from Plastics, which deals with microplastics in our environment. People will swallow, the average person will swallow a credit card amount of plastic in 3 months, so that's icky. And we also help students vote, we register to vote and that kind of thing. Thank you. Once again, I'm Shelley Trammell. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
I never wish I could be here all night to hear you speak. Thank you, Shelley. I want to invite really quickly, they came from outside Mecklenburg County, but they are North Carolinians no less. Jackson Fall, Mary Dodd. We will close with the two of you, and then we want your officials who have a few things to share with you before we close.
Thank you.
Go.
Hey y'all, I'm Jackson, and I'm a recovering Republican. I've been clean and sane since November 6, 2016. Cotham. In 2015, Tricia Cotham addressed the General Assembly and said, my choice for my abortion is between myself, my husband, my God, and my doctor. That's what she said in 2015. She also said, and you white men, you men, don't have the right to tell me what to do with my body. Earlier this year, what happened? She's already had her abortion. So she put on a red dress and said, hey y'all, now none of y'all can have an abortion. And what she did in the process was give North Carolina Republicans a supermajority. So that Governor Cooper is not able to pass legislation regarding women's rights to health care. They overturned the veto on this restricted 12-week ban. All sorts of other things. So I actually have a question for our elected officials, and I'm glad the Congressperson Waddell and Bud, y'all are going to come up here because maybe you can answer this question. North Carolina has one of the weakest gubernatorial powers of any state in the country. We didn't even have a veto in this state until recently. So yeah, that's true. So why is it that the one person who's elected statewide, in our case right now, Governor Cooper, Why is that one person the only people up there, of all those people in the General Assembly, only person is elected by all the people in North Carolina, but he has no power over redistricting, no power over local rules and regulations, no power over constitutional amendments, and it is absolutely sickening what they're doing. They are restricting votes with impunity. They're doing two things. They're suppressing votes, and that's one thing, and they're also subverting votes. So thank you for answering that.
My friends, I deeply adore Minister Virginia, who runs this church, and we cannot be here longer than 8:30. So we are got a few more folks that I want to make sure you hear from for being here tonight. But one more round of applause for everyone who spoke. It is very difficult to get up in front of people and share things like that. So I deeply appreciate it. Now, upon Senator Waddell's suggestion, I don't mean to put you on the spot, Mr. Dickerson, but Senator Waddell thought it may be a good idea. One of the things that we're going to do from here is vote, of course. Get 5 of our friends to do so. And voting has changed in North Carolina, and it may still. So, Mr. Dickerson, we'd like to invite you maybe just to say a few words from the Board of Elections, things you'd like North Carolina voters to know this fall.
Thank you. That's 3. There you go. Thank you very much. Don't get upset when I tell you this, but this year we start showing photo ID when we vote. Simple process, and keep in mind our people at our office and our workers. I don't know how many of them are out there right now, poll workers that work for us on election day and during our early voting sites. But our workers are there to make sure you vote. Be it you don't have an ID, there's a reasonable impediment that you might be able to pass and not have to worry about it. So keep that in mind. We're not trying to stop you from voting, we're trying to get you voting. And that's my goal. I am paid by you all. Thank you very much. A raise would be helpful, Dr. Griffin. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh.
Don't stop speeches.
Wait a minute. That was begging. But it is, now keep in mind, we're here to help you vote. A photo ID. You got a driver's license? Show that. It doesn't matter if your driver's license doesn't have your current address on it, show that. If you're older than 65, like I am, the driver's license I have when I turned 65, and although it might be expired, is now good. Students, heard from the young lady just a minute ago. Students, you can show your student ID if you're at UNC Charlotte, and we can make sure you vote. They've applied for that. Queens, same way. Davidson College, Johnson C. Smith, you all will be able to show your student ID, and we will get you voting. Don't let it stop you from going out and voting. I'm expecting a whopping maybe 10% in the primary coming up in a few months. Maybe 20% for the general, but everybody votes, as long as there's a president on the ballot. We'll get 75% for that, but these are the races that mean the most. These are the ones that get you out there, they tell you how much you're going to raise, how much you're going to spend, where your taxes are going, where they're going through. Those are the races that mean the most, so make sure you get out and support your candidates. I'm not telling you who to vote for, just get out and support. And keep in mind, please, do not vilify us. I am here to do a job. I have made my decision for 25 years. 2 weeks ago, I celebrated my 25th anniversary of the Board of Elections. Thank you. Thank you. 25 years. And about 20 of them have been great. The first 4 were really ugly. But 25 years, and keep that in mind. We're here to help you. And I look forward to another couple months. No, just kidding. I love what I'm doing. I really, really do. And this is a great county to work for. And I am very proud of everybody that represents us here in Mecklenburg County. So don't forget, bring your ID. Don't let it stop you. The one thing I did want to remind you too, if you're going to vote by mail, you got to show a photo ID. Again, I didn't write the law. I'm just saying. I didn't accuse anybody, but I want you to show. She's fishing. Yeah. But if it's going to be a photocopy of your ID, how many of you have a photocopier at home?
Zero.
Well, I don't know. We're going to all come over to your house and use it. But actually, there's actually something called a reasonable impediment. Again, I understand it looks like somebody, but we're trying to make sure you vote. If you haven't got a photo ID, or you've got a photo ID, but I don't have a photocopier, or I'm voting by home, check the box that says, I don't have a way of photocopying this, and I will get your ballot voted. That's all I'm saying. We're here to help. Appreciate it, and thank you all very much. Thank you so much.
All right, my friends, we are in the short rows now, as Taylor Jones says. Who can tell me what Mecklenburg's turnout was in 2022? 40, 44, 45%. Next year, is it going to be the same? No. Is it going to be the same next year? No. And I hope it's not going to be the same this year, as you said, municipal level. All right, my friends, I want to invite up a couple reminders. If you have questions that you submitted, we might not be able to get to them tonight. We have more people speak, which is good, but we're collecting your questions. We're going to package them. We're going to make sure they get sent to everyone who represents you, including those who are fishing. And so please make sure that you do that. And there was one other thing that I had to remind you of. I can't remember what it is now, but I want to invite up Senator Joyce Waddell, who represents this area in the North Carolina State Senate, to tell you just a little bit about what's happening here at the General Assembly.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm excited with this crowd. And it's wonderful to be here. For the first election, usually I didn't have this in my district. Matthews and met here. But when they redrew the lines, I'm here and I'm happy to be here. I wanted to share with you, he talked about the election some, but I want to share with you some of the bills that we've been working hard on. Some of them that really keeps us awake at night. Because we try our best to make things good for everybody in this state. And we work hard for Mecklenburg County. You know, often they call us the state of Mecklenburg.
Yeah, that's right. Great state.
Because they think that we have everything. But we must realize we have good things. We have a lot of great things going on. But at the same time, we have needs. The same needs as some of the smaller counties in rural North Carolina. And so I'm going to share with you some things that we've worked hard on, that we want to see come to fruition. HB 574, the Fairness in Women's Sports Act, passed the General Assembly. This bill bans students of the male sex from playing on all athletic teams designed for females. This is one of the bills, HB 574, that got a lot of attention in Raleigh. It applies to all public middle and high schools, as well as private middle and high schools that play against a team required to follow the provisions of the bill, or if the school is a member of the Intercollegiate Athletic Organization. This bill applies to all athletic teams that are part of the NCAA. Now, we've worked a lot on that. We want everything to be fair for all students. HB 808 would prohibit surgical gender transition procedures and puberty blockers for minors, creating penalties for doctors who perform the treatments, including having their medical license revoked. Some exceptions are made, such as procedures for children with sex development disorders,
It would also require teachers and public school employees to tell parents if their children change their names or pronouns on school records. We had a lot of people who came to the General Assembly. I serve on Rules Committee. And every bill, before it goes to a vote on the floor, it comes to the Rules Committee. We had people from all over North Carolina coming to speak. And I want to tell you, there's a lot of power in coming to speak when there are things that we will be voting on in the General Assembly that you're concerned about. A lot of times I get maybe 25 cards a day about things that are of interest to people and they want to see how we vote. I want to look through those cards and see Mecklenburg on a lot of them. And what we see mostly is a lot of people who are not in Mecklenburg. The power of communicating, of coming to talk to your elected officials, emailing, calling, and getting on a bus in your cars as groups to come. So we'll set up a press conference. It is powerful. It makes a difference. Our voices, that's our vote. And when we talked about the textbooks, a similar bill had passed the Senate in 2022, but it did not get a vote in the House. Republicans did not have a veto-proof supermajority at that time. They do. Now we have, last term, this is my 5th term, I'll be completing 10 years in the General Assembly. At our last biennium, we had 20 members in the Senate, Democrats. So we had enough to sustain the governor's veto. And it made a difference. It caused them to come and talk to us.
Amen.
When we came to committees and talked about things, they had to listen.
That's right.
Do they have to listen now?
No.
Can we sustain the governor's veto now?
No.
So it makes a difference. Not only do we need to have people in Mecklenburg get out and vote, when we're talking about the 40s, those numbers, we need to also help people in these rural communities. And I know many of you who spoke tonight talked about your efforts going throughout the state of North Carolina. That is important. We got to get our voters in rural communities engaged. We need them. We need those voices and those votes to help us in Raleigh. Here in Mecklenburg, we have a 17-member delegation. 17 members. So we could be powerful. And out of the 17-member delegation, we want to make a difference. And we need your help all the time, not sometimes, but all the time, to write, to call, to visit, and to come in groups and say what's needed. One of our bills that we really worked hard on, HB 347, the sports wagering horse racing, to legalize sports gambling in North Carolina has been cleared. HB 347 is an act to authorize and regulate wagering on professional college and amateur sports and on horse racing in North Carolina to authorize live horse racing in North Carolina. Now, when it left the Senate and went to the House, that's when they put the information in it about horses as well. I was concerned about the small number of operators to be licensed and the transparency of how they were chosen. I just got one. And one of the things that we fought hard for is that even though we have this bill, we gotta provide for many people so that they don't get addicted to gambling. And so that they gamble responsibly. So we put a provision in this bill for that to happen. My other part that I was going to talk about, and that's why I said let Mr. Jefferson talk about it. Because it talks about some of the things that we were fighting for and that we're concerned about when we talk about proposed rules for in-person voter ID. And there are a lot of things that we're concerned about that when it comes to things that will prohibit us from doing what we need to do to encourage voting. I found you. So we're going to work a lot on that. They don't want us to bring water when people are standing in line. That's right. That's right. So they don't want us to they said you can't put any money forward in any way that may help you to get out the vote. Okay? So there are a lot of things in this ID bill that we got to work on. We got to make it good so that it encourages our members, encourages our voters to come out and vote. Thank you. And she said it later, she let me know.
Thank you, Senator Waddell. Friends, can I hold you for just 10 more minutes, and then we will close out. 10 more minutes, can I get you to say? We're already having a lot of fun. We just got one more person I want you to hear from. I want to thank Senator Waddell for being here to listen to her constituents. So another round of applause for Senator Waddell. And I know she represents the neighboring district, but with redistricting to come, who knows? She may be your representative here soon. Representative Budd, I'll invite you a few minutes to address the crowd here as well, please.
I have long since learned I am way too short for any podium. I'll really use that microphone. I am Representative Laura Budd. I represent Matthews in South Charlotte, which is the neighboring district to 112 where we are tonight. With redistricting, I may in fact pick up Mint Hill as part of my district. But either way, it doesn't matter. I represent all 11 million North Carolinians, no matter where you live. It doesn't matter your zip code. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter who you love. It doesn't matter where you work. I don't care. You deserve to be treated with the same dignity and respect as everybody else. I will say this. I was so happy that I could be here tonight. I actually am a practicing trial attorney in addition to being your representative out of 103. And I had a case that settled on Monday night, so by the grace of God, I'm here. But even if I did love fishing, and I didn't have to be up there, I'd be here, because y'all are way more important. Y'all are who elect us, y'all are who put your faith in us, and frankly, you're my priority. So I will say this and be quick, because we're not supposed to stump. But of the 6,422 problems facing North Carolinians, let me give you a quick rundown of what is not important. HB 10. Why? Why do we need to discriminate against people? Just because you're from another country, you have a different skin color, we should be able to pull you over and grill you? I don't know how many of y'all heard, but Representative Cervania from Cary, she is actually Asian, Pacific Islander. She got pulled over. They thought she was Hispanic, grilled for 2.5 hours on the highway, demanding to know where she had been born. She was born at a naval base in California, but they didn't believe her. She was very lucky. I'll give you another one that was unimportant and irrelevant. And that was Senate Bill 20. Why? Why did you need to mess with my uterus? It's not yours. That's right. You're not going to raise my children. Why do you get to make a decision about my body? Right. I will tell you this, not a single solitary man sits in a doctor's office and wonders if he gets to make his own health care decisions. That's right. Ever. As I said in my first speech, and I spoke twice on Senate Bill 20, once on its initial vote coming through and then once on the veto. I've never walked a mile in anyone's shoes but my own, including another woman. I respect the choice that you want to make with your body, and simply ask that you respect mine. I also noted that the 8 women sitting on the Republican side, that this bill didn't actually apply to them. Because they had the means and the ability that in the event that they needed that health care, they could go somewhere and get it. Okay? So this bill does not impact, say, Lara Bud, because I can go where I need to go. I can take the time off work, I have the money to do what needs to be done, and I have a supporting spouse. But you know what, if I live 2 hours from a clinic, and I am in an hourly job, and I don't have paid time off, or a supportive spouse, I mean, all these things that are necessary, I'm stuck. So I pointed out to those 8 women, this bill doesn't actually apply to you, but it applies to your constituents, so how dare you? I also pointed out abortion's been around, it's going to stay around. Washington Post ran an article today that said that more and more counterfeit abortion pills are hitting the markets. That's a big deal. That's dangerous. We might not be using coat hangers anymore, but abortion is not going anywhere. That being said, there's a long list. I'm going to touch on them super quick. School vouchers. You know who benefits from those? 5 counties in North Carolina, folks. Mecklenburg's one of them. And where's that girl that's fishing tonight from?
That's right.
Where do her kids go to school?
That's right.
I'll call a spade a spade. It doesn't benefit the majority of North Carolinians. And Jennifer De La Hara, who is on the Board of Education, is here tonight. She has all the details. But I will tell you this. At the end of the day, 30 counties in North Carolina, the public school system is the primary employer. In 52 counties, it's 1 or 2, and Jennifer just told me that Mecklenburg is the 3rd largest employer. And let me tell you what that does. That's your local economy if it's number 1 or number 2. So every time these Republicans vote to cut public school funding, they're actually damaging their local economy. Because those are not just teachers, staff, and students impacted, but local affiliate subsidiary businesses. And also, if you're a business person, and most of us in Mecklenburg actually understand this, it's the big businesses, when they're looking to relocate, open a new headquarters, expand their operations, you know what they do? The first thing they look at is your public school system. If it's not good, they're not coming.
That's right.
And so every time these Republicans vote to cut the funding to directly impact their district schools, they're actually directly impacting their local economy and the ability of those people to rise up above whatever circumstances there are, take the next step up on the ladder. That's a problem. And in order to fight that, I'm going to focus on the positive. The House caucus, as well as the Senate caucus for the Democratic Party, we have made it our campaign for 2024 to have a Democrat run in every House and Senate district. I can go for hours on issues. I am happy to stick around after this, but I will tell you this. We need candidates. They do not have to be super savvy and political. Look at Lara Bud. She definitely was not a Bushy guy. She accidentally answered the phone when Senator Hunt called her to tell her she was running for the Senate. And Lara said, "What can I do to help you?" And she said, "You can run for my seat." So here I am. I love it. I'm a glutton for punishment. I am going to run for re-election. That's the only plug you'll get, other than please sign up and follow my Facebook page. That being said, who do you know? And I'm going to tell you now, you know a lot of people. Iredell, Union, Cabarrus, Gaston, Rowan. People moved during the pandemic, and Mecklenburg County exploded with growth, and people went outside the county. Those are purpling districts, but it's super nice if they're purple, but guess what? They go vote. You know what they don't have to vote for? A Democratic candidate. Talk to your friends. See who they know. Browbeat them, bully them, and tell them Governor Cooper said he'd pay their filing fees. So that being said, I am going to do this. I know we're short on time, but Jennifer De La Hara is here. She is on your Board of Education. She is a phenomenal resource. She can talk a lot about school vouchers and everything else, and I told her I'd give her a plug and say she'd stay afterwards in case she didn't get to speak. And Senator Waddell and I'll also be here. So thank you again. And rest assured, I won't ever be fishing.
Thank you, Representative Bud. Thank you for taking the time to show up and listen here. We hope you will continue. It is time for next steps, y'all. And I do not want to make Miss Virginia mad, so we're going to get you out of here. One, there's going to be an event that's coming up next Monday. I'd like to invite Samantha Turner to talk to us about it for the Poor People's Campaign, so you know what you're doing Monday night. And then we've got one more thing for you, and then you're gone. You're out. All right.
Hey, hello everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me here tonight. Come because you do unbelievable work. I mean, you are at the forefront of these issues and have been And we need more people like you stepping up and challenging these laws. We need those civil rights attorneys of the past, right?
Yes.
So I'm Samantha Turner, and I am the co-chair of the Southern Piedmont Circle of the Poor People's Campaign and member of the state organizing committee. We are having a Moral Monday rally Monday night at 6:30 at the Government Center. We have a wonderful program to address all these issues. We will be hearing from impacted speakers. We will be hearing from clergy. We will be inspired by theomusicology. We will be inspired by each other and artwork and all of this collaborative work that we are doing. And I am happy to say that most of the people in here at some point in the past 3.5 years that I've been on the Poor People's Campaign, I have collaborated with in many, many ways, including Common Cause, and I appreciate all of you, and I hope you can make it to the rally. It's going to be a powerful day.
Forward together. Forward together.
Not one step back.
That's right. All right. We're closing it out. I promise. Sailor Jones, whoever's managing the computer, can you really quick go to the side with the representatives on it? Whoever's managing the slides. There we go. All right. Friends, I want you to do one thing. I won't make you do it now, but I want you to notice who did show up tonight. And it matters. It is not just, I know we talked about it a lot, but we came here because we wanted an opportunity for someone who is a representative, who matters, and their vote matters and impacts all 11 million North Carolinians to come and listen to you. That didn't happen, so we'd really like you to take a photo of their contact information. And sometime tonight, we'd like you to send a message and tell them how disappointed you were that they didn't come. So please take a photo of that now. Once you are done doing that, who has the gray basket? Is that what Trina had? On your way out, Heather Russell, Common Cause intern, NC A&T student, has a gray basket for your pledge cards and your questions. Please make sure you drop that off in the gray basket before you go tonight. Finally, I want to thank you for being here. Please make sure to talk and network, talk to your representatives if you have questions, get some food, get some resources. And I want to close with one thing, which is we are here to unite NC. We are not just focused on the issues now, but the future we are trying to build. So when I say who is the future of North Carolina, I want you to say we are the future of North Carolina. Are you ready? Who is the future of North Carolina?
We are the future of North Carolina.
It's very long. Who is the future of North Carolina?
We are the future
of North Carolina. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to Carthage on Monday. Can't wait to see y'all again here in Charlotte soon. Thank you so much.